The competition is heating up and Max Verstappen is loving it. Not because he likes a good challenge, but because having multiple threats on the grid is the only reason he's on top right now. If Red Bull only had one team to worry about, Verstappen is convinced that he would be eating dust. Let's hear it from the Dutchman himself, so stay tuned. Red Bull's past dominance in the ground effect era has taken a hit in recent months, with the field closing in and producing 5 different winners in the last 7 races. While McLaren has cut Red Bull's lead to 42 points, partly due to Sergio Perez's recent struggles, Verstappen still holds a substantial 78-point advantage heading into the summer break. Lando Norris has emerged as Verstappen's closest competitor, but the Brit has expressed frustration over missed chances to build on his first F1 victory in Miami. The McLaren driver missed the opportunity to capitalise on Verstappen's 10-place grid penalty in Belgium, as a mistake at turn 1 led to him finishing just 1 spot behind the Dutchman. Meanwhile, Mercedes has shown the most consistency with 3 wins in the last 4 races, but their slow start to the season has kept them out of the title fight. "I think it shifts a little bit," Verstappen said. "For sure, constantly McLaren has been really quick, Mercedes has been quick, but not everywhere. And from our side, yeah, we have a bit of work to do, we know that. We have a few things to analyse as well, what to do with the car for the remainder of the season. But on the other hand, of course, having an engine penalty, I think if all of the cars had that, their race would also look very different, you know. So it's not very fair to fully, of course, look at my race. Verstappen finished 4th coming from P11. Because if you just start with them, the race is very different. Despite his lead, Verstappen is clear that the championship is far from decided. He's urging Red Bull to get back to the performance levels they achieved last season. But the 3-time F1 champion has acknowledged that his title chances have benefited from the inconsistency of his rivals, adding, "It's never comfortable. There's always things that can go wrong or can happen to you, so every weekend you need to be in top form. I prefer to have it like that than one team, of course, suddenly dominating every single race." Verstappen is confident that the summer break is coming at the perfect time, especially after not securing a win in the past 4 races and seeing Red Bull's performance dip compared to their competitors. When asked about what the team might be reviewing, Verstappen suggested that Red Bull needs to evaluate whether their upgrades from the Budapest race have delivered the expected results. "I think there's things that maybe we can do different, or analyse the things that we've brought to the car. And we'll analyse all of that now over the break. Just things that we have brought to the car and stuff. Yeah, just checking up on everything." David Coulthard has warned Max Verstappen that his past success at Zandvoort doesn't automatically make him the favourite for the Dutch Grand Prix. The ex-Red Bull driver shared this insight with Racing News 365 when asked if Verstappen should be seen as the frontrunner for the upcoming race. "I don't, because I think such is the pace of development that it will be whoever comes with the latest upgrade that really suits that track. It is a track where you need absolute commitment from the driver, where, like Monaco, can bring you right into play. There's one thing that we know, which is Max is always full attack, but his competitors are tough. You've got 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton back winning Grands Prix. McLaren has 2 young chargers, George Russell, so the sport is incredibly competitive right now." Coulthard also noted that despite Verstappen being regarded as one of the greatest drivers in F1 history, success is never guaranteed. He said, "Just because you are the champion, if you look at Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, or any of these greats from the past, it does not guarantee that you will have the opportunity or the car for victory. But it is one of the truly great racetracks. It has a great atmosphere, and I am looking forward to it." Right now, the most important person at Red Bull is without a doubt Max Verstappen. The Dutchman is so influential that he's even rumoured to have a say in choosing his teammate. At the moment, Max is okay with Sergio Perez as his teammate, because the Mexican driver doesn't pose a threat to his dominance. But if someone like Carlos Sainz were in Perez's place, Verstappen might not be as comfortable with the intra-team competition. It's easier to have a timid and cooperative teammate than a hard racing one. Plus, Max's history with Carlos at Toro Rosso wasn't exactly smooth. Automotor and sport journalist Michael Schmidt says that Sainz might be partly to blame for the rumours about his potential return to Red Bull, but that move would only make sense if Verstappen were to leave the team, making a smooth operator come back more realistic. He said he speculated a bit about that seat. "Verstappen and Sainz, that's not going to happen anymore. There is too much history from the time at Toro Rosso. It's a shame, because Red Bull team principal Christian Horner would have loved having the Williams-bound driver back on his team. But he doesn't have a say in the matter since the Verstappen-Sainz pairing doesn't appeal to the Flying Dutchman. It's easy to see how their past bitter experiences are playing a role in this decision. After all, Carlos was the only one who managed to outdo Max Verstappen's test driver results at Toro Rosso. So, why would Verstappen want a competitive teammate, even if his boss does? If the choice were up to Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, he wouldn't hesitate to bring Carlos Sainz on board. Interestingly, Horner is actually in favour of the Verstappen-Sainz pairing. Schmidt added that, initially Horner saw something in Verstappen and Sainz together, but that doesn't sit well with Verstappen. It's about keeping Verstappen happy, that they continue as it has worked so well up until now. Schmidt also suggests that Mad Max holds sway within Red Bull, and this power stems largely from his relationship with Helmut Marko. The two work so closely that Verstappen has even said he'd leave the team if Marko ever did. Together, they form a powerful duo. It was Helmut Marko who ensured that Max landed a spot at Red Bull. That being said, he also played a key role in getting Carlos Sainz into F1 through the same team. But Verstappen always had the upper hand, often sidelining Sainz, which ultimately contributed to their tense time at Toro Rosso. Schmidt went on, saying, "I remember what Verstappen always said. Everyone knows what I need and what I expect from the team. I want to have my people around me. It's mainly about Helmut Marko. In any case, those two, that's such a close collaboration. In the last contract, it was practically black and white that one can leave when the other goes. He really understood that it was Helmut Marko who made sure that he came to Red Bull much earlier than planned. They wanted to leave Toro Rosso because they felt that they could reach higher. Toto Wolff has made no secret of his interest in bringing Max Verstappen to Mercedes, especially with Lewis Hamilton set to leave the team after 2024. Despite the ongoing rumours and speculations, Verstappen has consistently denied any plans to leave Red Bull. But F1 commentator David Croft recently weighed in on the situation, suggesting that Verstappen could still decide to switch to Mercedes whenever he chooses. During a discussion with Matt Baker on the Sky Sports F1 podcast, Croft mentioned that Mercedes is currently grappling with a dilemma regarding their future driver lineup. According to Croft, the Silver Arrows need to decide whether to promote 18-year-old Andrea Kimi Antonelli to F1 from F2 next year. Croft noted that if Mercedes opts not to promote Antonelli in the upcoming season, and instead aims to secure him for 2026, they'll need to ensure he doesn't slip through their fingers and join another team. He also reflected on how Wolff previously missed out on signing Verstappen, who ended up joining Red Bull in 2015. The F1 expert elaborated on this by explaining that, could Verstappen be coming to Mercedes? There's still that question hanging in the air. You can make a decision on the 27th of December if you want, if the offer is there from Mercedes, as long as you have a clause to leave Red Bull this year. Croft also brought up rumours that the so-called Helmut Marko clause, which might have allowed Verstappen to leave Red Bull, no longer exists. Despite this, Croft is convinced that if Verstappen wants to leave, he can. He argues that there's no sense in a Formula One team holding on to a driver who isn't happy. One of the key points Croft highlighted was that Mercedes and Wolff can't impose a strict deadline on Verstappen to make his decision. Given Verstappen's status and the fact that he's the one driver Wolff wants on his side at any cost, they'll need to handle the situation carefully. Was it a wise move on Red Bull's part to give that much power to Max Verstappen, or will it come to bite them in the long run? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.